Hello my friends, Patrick here, and today I am reviewing the Corsair Harpoon RGB mouse, the wired one, and here is the box. Now you may notice that I don't have an unboxing video for this one, well because I found the box to actually be not that particularly interesting. It's got the mouse and just an insert inside to hold it, plastic one, so that is really not much there to show you guys. Now, this is a mid-range product going at $55 at PLE, who are currently the exclusive resellers of this mouse as of this date. And the cool thing is that I have a way for you guys to get it a lot cheaper, so stay tuned to the end of the video to find out how you can get this for a lot less. Now, let's get into it. Let's get into about this mouse. What is it? Well, it's an RGB mouse. Of course, it has to have RGB. It's 85 grams. It's got 6K DPI. Does it need 6K DPI? Well, it's not as ridiculous as some of the Razer mouses with 12,000 DPI, which is probably a lot of overkill packed into one mouse. I'm hoping that the laser itself is a bit better and you don't need to go ridiculous marketing terms like 12K DPI. So I've been using it for a couple of days now. It's not really hard to review a mouse. You don't really need to use it for long, except when it takes you long to get used to it. Now I jumped into this mouse very quickly and I did not have any trouble picking it up in games and performing up to the level that I have been with my G900 Logitech one. And that is the first thing that really impressed me. I was able to jump in and use this mouse really quickly without having to be like, struggling how to grip it or moving it around or moving your hand. It just felt really natural in the hand. One thing I will say though, this mouse is a little bit small. My hand was a lot larger than the mouse, which did feel odd at first, but I got used to it quite quickly. Which kind of was a little bit annoying here on the edge where my pinky sat, a little bit there where the actual click part is. It was kind of annoying, but it went away very quickly, which is again what I'm saying here is that I got used to this mouse very quickly. What you might notice is a little bit odd is that the cable is on this tip here. Usually it's in the center, but we've got a cool design here where the roll ball thing is in the center and we've got the whole gap. And one thing that I will say is this mouse looks absolutely sleek. It is so smooth compared to the G900 that looks like some sort of terrestrial being that's supposed to be in a movie where transformers attack human beings. But this mouse looks really nice and sleek. We've got the DPI button right here, and we've got the two buttons and two more back and forward buttons, which I'll mention in a second, that really bothered me. On the bottom, we've got 4 feet, and that is another thing that kind of annoyed me, but I will explain what I mean in a second. So, the cable is rubber. It goes on for quite a length and the end is actually really cool. Really love the way they finished off the USB. That, my friends, is a solid looking USB plug and I really like it. It feels solid, so when you plug it in and there's other things around it, you won't really have to care when you pull it out. You can grab it by this little bit here and you won't have any issues with damaging it. I would prefer a braided cable, but I guess the sleekness goes with this, the rubber type thing. Though with the rubbers, it's hard to sort of straighten them out, and that's what I found. It was because it's wired and I'm used to wireless mouses, I may have found this a little bit annoying, but I bet people who are still using wired will not find this annoying at all. This is a right-handed mouse, which is another thing you have to consider, and the cable is on the left hand towards your inside of the keyboard if you're playing like so. So it shouldn't bother you. Put it behind and you'll be fine. Just remember it's rubber. It might not slide as smoothly as braided cable. Now, the feet. This is a little bit of an issue I had is when I put it flat down like so on hard surface like my table, I could feel when moving that there was a little bit of give way. It could rise up a little bit because the feet at the bottom don't have one single one here. It's on the side, so you could wiggle it just to there. It wasn't much. It was only noticeable for the first hour when I used it, when I was trying to get used to how much of a lift off this mouse has. The next thing is, I suppose, and before we go on, I love the Corsair logo, guys. Corsair, if you're watching this is the awesome logo, not that crap you put on the K95 that looks like a back tattoo of some lady of the night. Guys, these are awesome logos and this is nicely done. It is RGB, this is the only bit that lights up, and you can do all sorts of things in the software. And that's where I had a bit of a problem too. These buttons here cannot be unbinded. It is back and forth in a browser, and my thumb is rather large and it keeps hitting it, and I keep going back and forth on web pages. It got a little bit frustrating, and I spent like a good 15 minutes looking for a setting to change this. I've changed it in the G900. Actually, the G900, I could remove the buttons altogether because I didn't like them. I want to have a left, right, and that's it. But again, just something to think about. Maybe the software will get updated. It is in beta currently. It is the new software from Corsair that controls all sorts of other Corsair peripherals. But I have to say, apart from that, the actual software is awesome. Really, really good. By far much better than Razer's software and just under Logitech's implementation. I still like Logitech's a bit better, it's a little bit simpler, but I feel like the Corsair one is gonna be awesome. But there is one more thing that you want to check when you boot up the beta software, is that there is a tick box that you go into settings to untick devices that you don't have. Otherwise, they'll have little icons showing you what you could have if you had all these peripherals like the headphones, the keyboard, and the mouse. But I would just turn that off because you only have the mouse. Or maybe you have other Corsair products, then this will work really well for you because it's going to be the one software and you can control everything from there. The next thing, I suppose, is how good is it in actual laser use? And I found it was awesome, really good for games. I actually took it to work and I used it at work because I found it to be really comfortable, even if it was smaller. Maybe I found the other mouses uncomfortable because they were bigger and my hand was spread along, but this was nice and tight. Now guys, if your hand is a bit bigger, you might find the claw grip much more comfortable than just the palm grip that I have with this. But for me, it was fine. Now, using it is probably like other mouses, you're not gonna go wrong, but the sensor itself was 98% accurate. What the 2% I mean is on my pad, on my mouse pad at home, it was 100%. And then on my desk at work, which I don't have a mouse pad, I'm not sure if it was maybe some sort of dust or anything, but I felt it skipped a few beats, maybe in the first hour. I did not notice it after a while. Then again, I really wasn't pointing and shooting or playing games at work, so I guess there's that. The other thing is the DPI. 6K DPI, I only go up to 1200, and funny, because my other mouse was 1200, I actually had to turn this down to 1100 because it just wasn't quite there, but I didn't feel that 1100 matched the 1200 because of the size of the mouse. The laser is in the center, so guys, this is one thing you need to check when buying a new mouse. Check where the laser is. That is the biggest difference in mouse feel that you will ever get. If you're on a mouse like the G500, for example, the laser was a little bit off. If you went to the G900, you also was in the center, and there was another few mouses that I used in the past where it was just a little bit off center, to the left or the right. In the center, remember, mouses that have it in the center, you'll pick it up very quickly. The other thing that bothered me was actually the weight. It's a little bit light for my liking. Again, maybe because I have a big hand and whenever I throw it, I want to feel the weight of the mouse. But in saying that, I didn't feel as strained as I do after long gaming sessions with the G900. So that is a positive, but again, it could be a personal choice of how much weight you want with the mouse. This mouse, I feel, is really, really good for the price. At $55, I think this is a very good mouse. You just have to compare it to other priced, well, in the same price range mouses, and you'll sort of see that they all have the same sort of style, but what you're getting with this is Corsair's warranty and software, so you have to also look at that, because most mouses in that price range are really going to be the same. I usually try and avoid Razer mouses, but their wired mouses are okay, but I find that their wireless mouses are absolutely terrible. So if you're thinking about picking up the Mamba Wireless 2014, don't. I had it and I returned it as quickly as I got it. Within a day or two, it was back in the store because the wireless was really, really bad. Looks cool, charge is cool because it's got a stand for it, don't get it. At $55, guys, this is a good mouse. But, like I said in the start of the video, I have a deal for you guys. If you go to PLE before the end of December and use this code, you can get this mouse for $39. That's right, the guys from PLE gave me a little code to give away for you guys on my video, so you can get this a much cheaper than it is. So obviously it's just a deal in the coupon at checkout, put it in and you can get this for 39 bucks. So in saying that, at 39 bucks, this is a bargain. And guys, I'm not getting any sort of kickback. I just asked for this because I thought this mouse would be a really cool Christmas present for anyone, really. So, like I said, if you are looking for something good that's gonna work and is gonna be enjoyed as a gift or for yourself at a very reasonable price, this is a great mouse. So if you already have some Corsair gear, this will match up perfectly to what you have, and it has 1000 polling rate, which means 1 ms, and that means basically nothing because it's gonna be smooth and it's gonna be precise and it's gonna be extremely responsive. The sort of things you want to look out for is the laser nowadays. You want to see if the laser works on the surface you have, and if you have a mouse pad, or actually this one wasn't too bad, but if it's a bit darker, maybe shinier, just have a watch out for that. Use it in store, check what it works on, but I'm pretty happy with this, and actually I'm going to use it for a little bit longer because I've been really enjoying it when playing MOBA games. I like lighter mouses with that, but with shooting games I prefer a heavier mouse, and maybe that's what this is aimed for. Maybe this is aimed for MOBA players, maybe not so much World of Warcraft players or MMORPGs because there's just not enough buttons on this. But guys, this is the Corsair Harpoon RGB mouse, and hey, happy to recommend it. Pretty good. I'll catch you guys later.